I'm pretty sure you're the first one to see that, other than like.
That's a pretty badass intro, dude. Holy crap! Whoa. Who's a Photoshop expert in this group here?
That is Caleb.
That's Caleb.
Yeah.
Well done, sir. Well done.
All right. What is up, bros? I'm Caleb.
And I'm Jonathan.
We are a couple of bros on a mission to give you guys the most detailed movie reviews out there with as little bias as possible. Welcome to the All Bros. This week on the podcast, we are joined by a very special guest, Mykie from Failing Hollywood. Would you like to say?
That's me.
Yeah. Is this the... I don't think this is the first one you've been on, right?
I think it is the first one I've been on because you guys have both been on the Winner Circle with us, and I've had you on our show on Failing Hollywood also.
That's what it
but no, I think this is my first time here with you guys.
Oh, that's awesome. I was thinking through, I was scrolling through like the catalog, and I'm like, I swear he's been on one before, but yeah, I guess I was thinking the one I was on with you.
And what a great cinematic masterpiece for me to come in on. So,
this one's going to be great. This one's going to be fantastic.
Yes.
All right, so first up, kind of going through what we're going to talk about. In 4K Spotlight, we have one new release that we're going to talk about. And then moving on to Through the Wall, we got a new trailer for Five Nights at Freddy's that we're going to discuss a little bit before we get into our headliner, which will be our breakdown of Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. So without further ado, let's say we get into it, guys.
Need motivation? Angry Dad Podcast. Trying to jumpstart your life? Angry Dad Podcast. You want help getting off the couch? Angry Dad Podcast. You need a verbal kick in the ass? Angry Dad Podcast. You want to hear from somebody who's been through it all? Angry Dad Podcast. I am here for you. You can find me on all podcast platforms.
Fucking Angry Dad.
Oh, dude, I'm so happy that I was able to upload the audio where he's not pitched down.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah. What was the trick? Or something? Did you do so? You figure it out?
No, I just uploaded the same file he sent me. Again, no freaking idea why it pitched him down on our soundboard, but
I mean, I didn't mind that version either, though. To be fair.
Dude, it's so hard to play that one, or it was. Now that we don't. That's not going to be a problem anymore. But it was so hard to to play that one when DJ was on because he would always comment on it, and I'm just like, I can't fix it now. Freaking love it though.
I appreciate it though. It might be the only way to calm down Angry Dad. Let's pitch him down a little bit and force him to do it. Might as well slow it down too, because then you can make out everything he's saying.
Yeah. Oh. So, yeah, anyway, first up, we got 4K Spotlight. So, Rose, would you like to let us know where we can get this movie?
I would love to. So, this week, we got Scream 6 coming out. I just had a brain fart, sorry. Wow, yeah, so Scream 6. Coming out this Tuesday. There's only one. It's not even an exclusive. So there's no exclusives for this thing. Wow. There's no exclusives for this movie. But it is getting a special format. So you got the regular 4K right here, looking very, very nice. It's the classic theater poster. Next up, we have the Steelbook. So this is the, exclusive format, but I don't really count it as an exclusive because it's not exclusive to any stores. So you can get this anywhere. It's going to be at Best Buy, Target, Amazon. Usually Best Buy and Amazon are your two best bets for Paramount Steelbooks. I usually try for Best Buy just because Amazon is known for shipping Steelbooks in bubble mailers, and we all know how that turns out. So.
Kind of a lazy photo if we're saying so. It looks like they just took a bigger photo and they're like, just cut out the corner where the Scream guy is, or Ghostface is.
I would agree. It is kind of a lazy Steelbook. I know this was one of the teaser posters, but Yeah, I wish they would have done something different.
Dude, we think that every single week. Like, whoever designs these steelbooks or cover photos, like, they need help.
Yeah, like the 4K actually looked good. Like it was good artwork. You know?
Yeah,
Dude,
that's
that's
true.
what I freaking based our like my artwork off of. Like, I loved like how like just that white like on the edges. Like, it just kind of like made everything like a little bit brighter, but still like scary. Like, it was so cool.
Yeah.
And then they go and do something like this.
Yep. So yeah, nothing really much to say about it. I guess like the positive thing I can say is that you get a close up look at the cracks on the mask.
Oh yeah.
But that's really all I got.
Yeah.
And then lastly, I skipped over it. Sorry. Just the regular Blu-ray, which if it's showcasing the red on the top for where it says Blu-ray plus digital code, I'm really hoping that the case is also red, because they have done that in the past when this is the case. The tab above the movie, or I guess the slipcover, is in red. They'll make the case red too. So fingers crossed, because that would be freaking awesome.
Yeah, I wish they did do that more. There must be an expensive marketing ploy, though, right? Is that why more movies don't change the color of their DVD covers?
I think so. I mean, the last two that I can... Actually, there's only one that I can think of that did it for just a Blu-ray, and it was turning red. But I mean, that made sense.
That would make sense, yeah.
Yeah. But I know for, like... What was it? Actually, wait, no, Cruella did it too. For not only their 4K, but also their Blu-ray. It was a red case.
Yeah. It's kind of like what back in the VHS days when they like changed the color of the cassettes. Like Nickelodeon always had like the orange ones and stuff like that.
Can we go back to that, please?
Right. Yeah. There was
Dude,
like
I freaking remember. Yeah, like dude, I remember the freaking like Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius tape was yellow.
Yeah.
Shit was awesome.
Yeah.
Dude, I freaking follow some dude on TikTok that will make custom VHSs of movies. Like, he's gone and like with Spider-Man, he's gone and got like a red VCR like tape, a blue top, and then he puts his own like custom webbing on like the cover with like the title and everything. It looks freaking sick. Like,
oh, interesting.
Yeah, like obviously it's like with a outdated format, but like they got super creative with that stuff. Like, I'm kind of bummed they don't get that creative with it now. Like, this is probably the most creative horror cover, like this Scream one, the most creative horror cover I've seen in a while. Like, I think if they start throwing in more color into them, like, I think that would really help out. Like, I know it's like kind of messes with the tone and everything, but I don't know. I like this artistic vibe about it.
Yeah. I mean,
I feel... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, I mean, I don't know. I think it's probably that, I guess the times have sailed away because, I mean, not many people are even buying any of these. Only real collectors are buying them, and a lot of them are just going, I don't do steel books, but I still do buy DVDs, but I'm few and far between. Sure, you're the same.
No, that kills me.
Yeah, I know. It kills me, too. I have a wall in my living room. I have over 800 DVDs and Blu-rays and stuff like that. And
okay, that makes me feel better.
Yeah.
Yeah,
See, I feel I'm a little indifferent with you guys. Like, I don't love the artwork for these new Scream movies. I feel there's too much going on. Whereas I like what they did with the new Halloween trilogy, where every poster was just the close-up of how Michael's mask looked in the movie.
That's a good way.
I kind of would have preferred if they did that with like Ghostface's mask, but I guess that'd be them copying the Halloween trilogy. So I will take what they're doing here. Yeah, I appreciate them doing something different.
Yeah, and maybe they'll continue with the Steelbook with the just a fourth of a photo cut out.
Oh,
this might be a stupid question. Is this like actually the 6th movie, or am I like forgetting another Scream movie that's come out?
No, this is the actual 6th one.
I think did they have a TV series though?
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
Okay. Dude, something I think would be really cool for them to do is, like, eventually when they release a box set of these, is have each cover be like a close-up of that Ghostface masks.
That'd be super dope.
Yeah.
So because I think that like after 7 they're stopping. I think that they just want these directors just wanted to do a new trilogy. But if that's the case, then they kind of got to make the last one like different enough to like the original, because I don't know if they're going to bring back the way that these masks were introduced in this movie. So if they kind of just go back to the original where it's, you know, like just the classic Ghostface mask, nothing happened to it, be kind of weird if like 5 OG mask, 6, you know, like destroyed, freaking cracks everywhere mask, and then 7 back to OG.
Dude, the 7th one is going to have the
but...
blood that can like pumps through it.
Oh God!
Remember that old style?
Don't give him any ideas.
Those Halloween masks, yeah.
Oh God, dude! Don't. Dude, it's gonna have the freaking scary movie one where it has like the tongue sticking out on the side.
Oh,
I remember going as that for one Halloween.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be.
With
Yeah, they're.
Dude, I wouldn't be upset by that whatsoever.
I don't know if I could take Scream seriously after that, though.
Oh.
Yeah, or at least change the orientation of the eyes or something. Well, I guess it wouldn't be scary. Yeah, you're right. Anything else would take out the seriousness of them.
That's a tough job. That would be a really tough job to kind of figure out. Like, at least with this one, they had like a decent enough idea. Like, oh, we'll just like age the masks up, or like we'll use different masks for different people, and blah 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 blah. But how you go from what they did here to either something completely original, like in terms of like how the mask looks or whatever, like you can't go back and basically do what this movie did and reintroduce all of the original masks. Like it just be kind of a cop out.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So I do not envy whoever has to make that. So where do masks fall? Is that like a costume deal or is that a prop deal?
It's supposed to be costumes, but a lot of times it falls to props. I have had to. One of my most. I wish I had it in the studio. I'd show you right now on Horror Stories. One of my most like proud props that I ever had to do was a custom like mask, and I went through over. I think it was scripted as Bart Simpson mask or something like that. And obviously, we couldn't use Bart Simpson mask because it's a real character, and we can't get rights for a murderer to be going around wearing a Bart Simpson mask.
Damn, it'd be so cool.
Yeah. So I came up with I didn't come up with we could clear masks very easily if they're mass produced and they're just something off the shelf like from China. So I got over 150, and every single one of them was like, no, we're closer, but no, it really needs to be a custom mask. So like I in Photoshop like took a bunch of like weird like old cracked Chinese like porcelain dolls and just from like rummage up photos and like blended a bunch of them and like high definition, the crack down the face, blacked out the eyes, kind of like Ghostface, and put that. And that was like an automatic yes. And then I had it custom made and molded. And it's a long line of doing it. So it was my most difficult, but also my most proud prop.
That is awesome.
That is really awesome.
I'll send you a picture. After.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, I am too much of a puss to watch freaking American Horror Stories. Like I try.
Oh, it's not.
I know. I tried watching the first like season. Like I tried starting from scratch, first season, first episode, and they went into like the basement, and I was just like, nope. And then like I freaking got a jump scare, and it's like, oh no, I'm done. And then my wife like pushed through and watched it, and she's like, "Oh, I think you'd really like this one." And like I think it was the circus one, and I ended up really liking that. The witches one was pretty good, but I couldn't make it through the first season because
So you're not a jump scare kind of guy.
I have like said this a billion times on this podcast. There's nothing I hate more than a cheap jump scare. Like there are some movies that I feel definitely earn them, and like the one I'm thinking of off the top of my head is The Invisible Man like the new one, when she's like up in the attic and she like grabs some paint and like throws it down and like it hits the guy and you see his face. I'm like, that was a great one. But like there's some I'm just like I freaking hate it. Like when it's just like dead silent and then it's just like like scream. Nothing like makes my blood boil faster.
Yeah. Like the scene in The Sixth Sense where he like kind of looks over the window and there's like a fucking face sitting there in the car window.
Yeah, pretty much.
Or in The Grudge. Yeah, The Grudge and The Ring are like those too. Those are full of cheap scares.
Yeah, like nothing I hate more. Like I'll like if we review a movie that has a cheap jump scare, I'm docking it because of that cheap jump scare. Usually, I'm just like, no, forget you.
That's fair.
It's usually like a point or two, but it makes me feel better.
Yeah.
Yeah. So is there anything else with these rows?
No. Just comes out this Tuesday, so.
Well, hell yeah. All right, well, moving on over to Through the Wall, we did get a new trailer for Five Nights at Freddy's, and this looks awesome.
Yeah, it does.
But not as good as Willy's Wonderland. Just got to throw that out there.
Like, don't get me wrong, Willy's Wonderland was good, but I don't know what it is about Five Nights at Freddy's. Like, I'm freaking like all types of hyped for this. Rose is a little bit.
Were you a fan of the game?
No, I've never played the game.
Oh,
I've just.
Really? You haven't even played the
dude,
first?
Did you not hear me? I freaking pussed out of
Dude, what the hell?
season 1 of American Horror Stories.
Dude, Dude, don't get me wrong. I freaking almost threw my laptop because Bonnie scared the shit out of me in the first one. But even I can say that I've played the first game.
And it's mainly your fault, but I got really into the lore behind Five Nights at Freddy's.
How is it my fault?
You started like I didn't think anything of Five Nights at Freddy's, and then you started getting into like, oh, did you know this, and this about the backstory? And I'm like, no. So I did a freaking deep dive on it. So I like did a bunch of like reading up on Five Nights at Freddy's and the lore behind that, and then kind of got super into it. So like I said,
I mean the suits look fun in this one.
I thought like. The trailer kind of I feel like might be a tad bit deceiving because it's like I don't know where on the spectrum like these are like practical suits, aren't they?
I hope so.
As far as I know, yes. I heard that they were made by the Jim Henson
Dude,
company.
that's what I thought. Why do they look so fake though? Like, does it?
Because it's Five Nights at Freddy's. If you played the video game, you would know. It looks pretty fake. They're supposed to look like the weird, like fucking robots from Chuck E. Cheese.
No.
That's why.
Not that. I mean,
that's fair.
Like,
I mean, like the last time you saw like a Chuck E. Cheese animatronic, like
okay, I'm not saying it like looks. That's not what I meant. I meant why does it look like it's computer animated?
Oh, well,
I mean,
it was a trailer.
It is nothing against Blumhouse, but
everything against Blumhouse. They're pieces of shit.
Damn. What? They did the new Halloween trilogy. I love them for that.
None of that. They pay their people like fucking dog shit, and they treat their crews like dog shit.
They do. Oh, okay. I just lost
they have produced some of the worst movies ever too. They have done some good movies. I'm not gonna knock that.
I had no idea about that. Okay.
You just shattered.
I don't hold
Rose's brain.
I don't hold Jason Blum to as high of a standard as I used to now.
Oh no, yeah.
Oh man,
Blumhouse was on such a pedestal for Rose, and you just came and like knocked it over.
They kind of lost it though, man. After Halloween Ends, like I will fully admit that they took a step down after that one.
So I'm trying to like figure out what I want to address first in this. I'm super pumped for the cast of this. Like I love that.
Oh yeah.
Matthew Lillard's in this.
Matthew Lillard.
Josh Hutcherson.
That's all that needs to be said. Matthew Lillard, man.
That's true.
Fucking A.
Yeah, so remind me, Rose, who, like, he's playing the purple man or purple guy, whoever?
Yeah, he's playing William Afton.
William Afton. Is he like the owner or?
See, I will admit I don't know a lot about the lore of Five Nights at Freddy's, even though, like, honestly, it sounds like Caleb talked me up to thinking that I do know a lot. But I don't. So, like, I don't know if in the games that William Afton was the actual owner. In this one, at least in the trailer, he doesn't look like he was. I guess he maybe just bought it from the original owner. I honestly have no idea.
Okay.
All I know is he's the reason why these children are in the animatronic suits.
Okay. I kind of know a little bit about Purple. Like, I know that Purple Man's the voice, like, that you hear on the phone when you play the games. But other than that, I don't know if he had a canon name or anything like that. So, but yeah, I'm
not sure either.
I'm super excited.
All I know is his death was very gruesome. That's all I know.
Yeah, was it?
Yeah.
What? Oh, I mean, I think I showed you or told you about, like, how he became Springtrap, right?
Yeah. I think that's what got me into the kind of doing that, like, that deep dive.
I mean, guy got what he deserved, but, like,
did the lore behind Five Nights is, like, ridiculously long because there are, like, so many different types of Freddy.
Have you guys either of you, like, heard the audio that I forget who is talking, but it's like the final like scene, I think, of, like, the last Five Nights at Freddy's or something, and it's him, like, saying, like, how, like, all the children are finally free, and William Afton, when he's talking, he's just like, and some of you, you know who you are. There's a special place in hell for you waiting. Some shit. It's like, I'll have to see if I can find it again because my coworker shared it with me. Shit was insane. Like, I think this is supposed to be a trilogy, so, like, hopefully that kind of stuff is brought to fruition, maybe in the third one, if this is successful. But something like that to, like, finish off what they have planned, that'd be super, super cool.
Yeah, I think we'll see. That was at the last video game that came out.
I think so. I think that's where he said it came from.
I mean, they love planting a lot of stuff like this into these types of movies, so I feel like it will.
That's a good point.
If they could do something for the fans, they have to kind of do it in these.
Yeah, it's very true.
Yeah, but this movie's going to be coming out in theaters and on Peacock October 27th, so, like, right before Halloween.
I'm kind of scared as to why it's going to Peacock. I don't know. Sometimes that means, like, they don't have a lot of faith in it, but they should, considering it's Five Nights at Freddy's. There's a huge fan base behind this.
Or it could be Universal just trying to up Peacock a little bit more and get more.
That's a good point. That's a good point because, I know Peacock is not doing so hot when it comes to subscribers.
That doesn't surprise me the slightest. There's only, like, a couple things I go over to Peacock to watch.
Dude, freaking Xfinity, like, canceled my Peacock subscription, so I was tempted to not even reinstate it. But I'm just like, it's $5, it's fine.
Yeah.
But, like, the fact that I considered not even restarting it tells you a lot of how it's not that great of a service.
The only thing that I'll give Peacock credit for is that they are pretty quick to throw new movies on there. Like, it wasn't like Megan was on there pretty fast.
I think it's mostly movies that Universal doesn't, like, see doing that well in theaters. They'll put it on digital super fast, and then, within, like, a month or two, it's on Peacock. That wasn't the case with the Super Mario Bros. Movie, but with a lot of other Universal movies.
Is that streaming yet?
No, so it was announced today. It starts streaming on August 3rd, I think, on Peacock.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they definitely took their time with it, which, understandable. That movie was hella successful.
Yeah, it's still in theaters, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen it at a couple movie theaters, so, like, that movie's doing great.
Honestly, I wish that they would have held off on the like digital release, because I feel if they would have kept it strictly in theaters for a couple more weeks, it could have maybe topped Frozen and become the second highest grossing animated movie of all time. Yeah, but it got number 3, so at least there's that.
Yeah, I still got to see it.
So what's number 1?
What? You haven't seen it?
No.
You're in for a treat, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, what is number 1?
The Lion King.
The remake?
The remake?
Yeah, that counts as because I think there's only, I guess, one live action shot, so it still counts as a animated film, which I don't understand why. But yeah, so that's number 1. Frozen 2 is number 2, and now the Super Mario Bros. Movie is number 3, and then Frozen's number 4.
What a weird lineup.
That's
right. Seriously,
dude, if someone would, if it wasn't you telling me that, I'd probably have to call bullshit. Like I trust you to like give me the facts when it comes to like animated rankings and whatnot. That sounds like straight up garbage. How in the hell does that count as the highest grossing animated? Like, first off, how does it count as an animated? But
because it's completely CGI, man.
Oh, man, that pisses me off.
Like, if it was the original Lion King, oh my god, that would make me so happy. That'd
It should be the original Lion
that's what I
King.
thought it was. I'm like,
Yeah,
oh
I
wow,
agree.
like even after all these years.
If
Well,
only.
is it not due to like inflation? Because are we just talking new numbers now? Or?
I think it's still just new numbers now. They don't take inflation into account. Because I know, like, if you take inflation into account, like with every movie, Gone with the Wind is champ. Like, no movie will ever beat that movie.
Wasn't the whole deal with
Yeah,
that is that
probably.
was just the only movie in theaters for like years.
There wasn't a lot of movies back then. Not like today where you get 300,000. Although I'm thinking 6 months from now, there probably isn't going to be a lot of new releases, period, for a little while.
Oh, because the writer's strike?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah,
Is that
makes
still
sense.
going on? Oh,
Yes, sir. They just extended the SAG negotiations until the 12th. So, I mean, that could be a good sign. It could mean the SAG is close, but they refuse to go back to the table with the writers until they finish with DGA and SAG. DGA came to a deal. They're trying to finish SAG up. Then, if SAG comes out with a deal on the 12th, what day is today? The 6th. So 6 more days. Hopefully, they are like, we made a deal, and then they go back to the table with the writers, and then maybe I'll get some work again.
Yeah, I hope so, man. Cross my fingers for you.
Yeah, me too.
yeah, dude, I didn't realize it was going on this. Like, I thought it was like either close to or like had just like started like wrapping up, but it kind of shows you
Nope.
how close
I-
I've been
I've got-
following it.
Yeah, I've gotten like non-union like little gigs here and there, but yeah, people are like, man, they're like, oh, I give you credit for releasing a Failing Hollywood episode every week with just having a baby. I was like, well, I still ain't got shit to do. It's not like I'm working or anything. It's what keeps me sane.
Yeah. Jeez, that sucks. Like I listened to a podcast not too long ago about like the kind of just breaking down what the strike was all about, and because I like when I first heard about it, I was just like, didn't they just like have one like not too long ago? And they're just like, yeah, that was when everything was like going like digital or like DVD sales and stuff. And I'm
Yeah.
like,
2007.
yeah,
2007.
so it's like now they're wanting to like include streaming, and I'm like, they're not getting paid for
Streaming.
streaming. So like I'm
No.
I'm team writers on this one. I think it's friggin' bullshit.
Yeah. I mean, if they get a good deal, then it's just going to help my union when we come around to making deals too. Then we'll all go on strike and be fucked again for another 6 months or so. Hopefully not, though.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
But I mean, when it ends, I'm gonna be flooded with work. So I'm hoping, if anything happens, I'll be able to like take a pick from the litter, like of all the jobs and stuff like that.
That'd be awesome.
There's also stuff like I might help. I know a couple movies that are gonna shoot. Like I'm hoping to get some helping out on the guy who's doing Michael Jackson's biopic, and then I might be able to slip in to help out on Quentin Tarantino's last movie too.
Oh, dude, that'd be awesome.
Dude, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, so if I'm not running a show or whatever, I know the guy who's doing it. I should be able to at least
Nice.
get a few days in there. So check that off the bucket list.
Seriously, dude, that's
That
awesome.
would be
Yeah.
epic. Like I've
And it's shooting in town. Yeah, it's shooting in town here. So I'm looking forward to see if that happens or not.
Yeah, I don't know how true it is, but I hear he's a freaking gem to work with. But I don't know if that's just like actors.
Oh yeah,
or...
he's horrible.
Is he
to work
really?
with.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
He chain smokes joints and then just like comes to work trashed and just has this whole thing. Especially in prop department, he
shit.
has this like must hire that because he's buddies with the person that runs the set, and he wants her to prop master, but she doesn't know how to prop master. So he's like, why don't you just prop master? And she's like, well, I don't know how. So she's the co-prop master with the actual prop master in the next one, and she kind of has the boss pretty much under her finger, being able to do whatever she wants, which doesn't really work well in a structured department.
Right.
Yeah, it's like if the regional manager at McDonald's has like the guy who's flipping burgers being like, the burger flipper knows the owner, so he's like, yeah, well, we're gonna do it this way because I say so, and the manager's gonna be like, all right. You know.
Oh man, gosh, that bums me out.
I mean, I would still love to work on the show though. Just to like, I feel like working on a show like that is still like it's like you're being a part of history almost. Because those movies are still going to be what he did. He did Once Upon a Time in Hollywood too. The guy, a friend of mine that did it. And I mean, that movie's fucking fantastic in my opinion. So
Agreed.
to be able to work on something like that and be a part of that still would be an honor.
The fact that you can add that it was Tarantino's final movie that you worked on,
right?
That'd be amazing,
right? So we'll see.
Fingers crossed for you, man.
Hell
I
yeah.
hope so.
So what's everyone's excitement level for Five Nights? Since we completely stopped talking about that.
Yeah, mediocre. I'm definitely gonna see it. I think it will be fun. But I mean, it's gonna take a lot for you to beat Willy's Wonderland for me. I'm an individual. I'm one of the only people that really liked that movie, though. So I think I'm one of the only people that movie resonated with. So
I dug it a lot. It's just,
Okay.
I think what that movie did is it kind of set the bar for Five Nights. Like whatever Five Nights does, like Willy's at the bar. So it needs to exceed. If it doesn't, then I'm Willy's all day. But I mean,
well, now I don't want to watch Willy's until after I watch Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah,
I'm afraid I'm just gonna.
You should wait to watch Willy's till after 5 because I feel like you'll have less of a barred opinion. You're like, okay, let's see, let's try to match these up because I guarantee you they're not the same movie at all.
Really?
Nick Cage makes half of Willy's for sure.
Dude, I after watching that movie, I messaged my brother and told him or was just kind of asking him, I'm like, hey, do you like Nick Cage? And he's like, yeah, I freaking love Nick Cage. And I'm like, fantastic. And I told him all about Willy's Wonderland and just not obviously not spoiler territory, but I told him all about it. And he's like, that movie sounds sick, dude. And he's like, yeah, we'll watch. Like me and the wife have been looking for something to watch. Like, we'll watch it tonight. And I'm like, great. The next morning, I had a message on my phone that was just like, what the hell was that? And he's just like, that was so stupid. And he's like, Nicolas Cage didn't even talk the entire thing. And I'm like,
that's the best part about the movie.
I started laughing, and he was just ripping me a new one and messaging, and then my sister-in-law texted me and she's like, he actually really liked it. Don't let him lie to you. So I'm just like, yes.
Oh, that's awesome.
But I mean, me and him have very different tastes in everything. I kind of like older rock, same like older music, like country kind of. It's like softer stuff. He likes like heavy metal screamo, and then like our biggest argument is like anytime he's like, "Oh yeah, this movie's great," like it's usually a movie that sucks ass. Like his favorite movie, and he's like, "It's the best movie like that's ever been released ever." Is Tokyo Drift?
Oh,
yeah, I was just like, dude.
Man, Bow Wow really wrecked that movie up.
Yeah, I was just like, dude, because you said that, I will never trust your opinion on any movie ever.
Dude, if anyone tells me that if anyone ever tells me that their favorite movie is any of the Fast and Furious movies, yeah, I don't trust their movie opinion at all.
Yeah, your opinion means nothing to me anymore.
I mean, Kaz from Hood Diner has a bunch of really weird opinions. Like when we released the tier of Adam Sandler, he was like, "I don't know what you're talking about. Jack and Jill was fucking awesome," and I was like, "Bro, I don't think you can talk to me anymore." Fucking Dunkaroos. No, we can't talk to me anymore, man.
Holy shit.
Okay, speaking of Adam Sandler, I gotta know your guys' opinion if you've seen him. Grown Ups and Grown Ups 2. I love the first one. I think the second one sucks.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm the demographic for either, so
Okay. All right, fair enough.
I'd say the first one, I guess it's a good feel-good, like get all my buddies together in a cabin comedy type of thing. Yeah, the second one's kind of just, let's just try to keep this going for as long as we can. If we could keep getting money for these things, we'll just keep doing it like this. Yeah,
I mean, you know what? I wouldn't mind just being able to be able to go away for a weekend, get paid millions of dollars to hang out with Caleb. That'd be freaking awesome, and film a movie in the process.
Movies, it's closer to 2 months with those movies, so then and
yeah,
hey, we'll pay you millions of dollars each for it too.
Dude, that'd be sick. But yeah, my brother's one that I do not trust his opinion. He trusts mine, I feel, because he will watch what I recommend to him, but he'll throw a fit over it after, and then I'll see that because we share a lot of streaming accounts, and so I'll go and check his every once in a while, and he rewatches some of the shit I tell him to, and I'm like, "Ha, I knew it, you bitch." I'll screenshot it, and I'm just like, "I told you you'd like it."
Yeah, well, we'll see how he feels about Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah.
Is he I can't remember. Is Bronson a big horror fan or no?
Not really. Or at least not that I know of.
Damn. I would love to hear his opinion, on the Halloween trilogy, the new one. I always want to hear everyone's opinion on Halloween Ends.
I was gonna say, man, you're a big Halloween fan, aren't you?
Dude, I am. Oh, freaking Michael Myers all day.
The third time you've mentioned it this.
I'm sorry, man, dude. Any chance I get to bring up the Halloween franchise, whether it be applauding it or shit talking it, I will take it. But just I know that Halloween Ends is one of the most divisive movies in the franchise, if not the most.
Rob Zombie did a couple of those movies, or did Rob Zombie?
He did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one did he do one or two?
He unfortunately did two.
He did two. The first one that he did, my cousin was actually the gaffer. He did all the lighting on it.
Okay, he did a really good job. The lighting was really good.
Yeah.
It's just, not the whole movie was great. Not he did a great job. It's just the other stuff that wasn't great.
I've worked on a lot of garbage movies. You don't need to cater to me.
Yeah, I don't know how big of a fan he is of horror. He kind of he's kind of gotten real. Obviously, his favorite movie is Tokyo Drift, so his opinions on movies can't be that good.
Yeah,
but I
true.
mean, yeah, if there was ever a freaking diehard Halloween fan, it's Rose. Every time we have a gap, we're in our recommendations that we post, because we've been doing those daily. I'm like, hey, we need a couple bonus ones, and he's like, I'll do Halloween 2, or I'll do I'll do Rob Zombie's Halloween.
Perfect.
Yeah, I'm like, all right.
You cool if Halloween 4's next?
It probably is. I like you throw they're so out of order. I have no idea which ones you've done.
Dude, speaking of, I want your opinion really quickly because someone commented on mine for Rob Zombie's Halloween on TikTok. They said, like you said, I think it was Rob Zombie's take on Mykie, but if you compare it to John Carpenter's take, you won't like it. Fair. But then it said, but the problem, like you.
I think he just got cut off.
I don't understand.
I think it seemed like he was at his
I'm like, is that
No,
trash talking me at the end, or like what
limit.
is that?
But really, I think the problem's you. We don't want your opinion anymore.
We get those comments a lot.
Oh, you'd be amazed of like how many. Yeah, we do. Yeah,
you have
freaking
to.
Hilarious.
You're doing a review podcast. Yeah, you gotta kind of expect to get that every once in a while.
Yeah.
Every time we post a tier, it gets annihilated. So maybe we're hearing
Wait. Anytime you what?
we post a tier movie, like when we actually the first time ever, like because we just. I'm about to post it on Instagram in the next couple of days, but we tiered Will Ferrell movies, and it was for the first time ever for the whole Inner Circle. I think this is a perfect tier. Like they think we did it actually pretty well. So that was, but every single time it breaks out into horrible argument.
Dude, I saw that. I think Riley posted it on the Plunge, and I was like looking through I think the only one that I kind of like was a little like about was Zoolander.
Because it's too low,
too high. I hated Zoolander.
It was awesome. It's such a quotable movie. Honestly, the only reason it was that low is because Will Ferrell was not in it that much. I would have even pushed it higher.
Oh yeah, out of all the other ones that you've like, all the other movies, I'm like fair. Like, cause my favorite Will Ferrell movie is and will always be Elf, and I still agreed with where you guys threw it.
It's a classic.
Yeah, like I said, the only one that I was just like, maybe that one's a little high is Zoolander, but it would have only gone down like a couple movies.
I'm curious. Did you guys put Blades of Glory on that?
Yeah, see, I didn't like Blades of Glory.
Okay,
but it was rated high because everybody else did.
I will admit, it's definitely not for everybody.
You know, but with those types of movies, because I didn't like Blades of Glory at all, but I loved Eurovision Song Contest.
I've never heard of that movie.
Yeah,
what?
I've seen that one on Netflix. It was always one that I meant to watch, but never got around to it.
Neither of you guys have watched Eurovision? Oh my!
Who stars opposite of him? Because that movie sounds so familiar.
Wiig, isn't it?
It's Rachel McAdams.
Was it Rachel McAdams?
Yeah, okay, that's who it is.
Yeah.
Oh shit, I freaking love her.
Yeah, so it's Will Ferrell, Rachel McAdams, and they're like two. It's kind of like you don't really know if they're brother or sister, but they have like this weird incestual relationship, and they're in a band that's like in Iceland. They're playing in a bars, and everybody they're always entering Eurovision Song Contest to try to do like the big next song, and but everybody in the bar just wants to play their hit, which is "Ya Ya Ding Dong," which pretty much goes "Ya Ya Ding Dong Ding Dong." It's like very much a weird pub sing along thing. And then they go to enter the Eurovision Song Contest, who the leading champion back-to-back years is Ariana Grande, but then she dies and tragically blows up in an accident.
Jeez.
Yeah. So if you want to see Ariana Grande blow up, it's also in this movie. Fucking fantastic.
I don't think I hate her
movie.
that much.
It's it's a stupid movie for all the right reasons, but it's so good, so entertaining, and so funny. So you should watch that movie. That's my recommendation for this week.
All right.
You might hate it, but
we'll let you know. We might make a recommendation video about it.
Yeah,
there we go. Bam.
Sure. Pretty sure it's on Netflix or it's streaming somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that was a straight to.
I think I remember it being a Netflix original.
Pretty sure it was.
Yeah.
But yeah. So if we're done talking about Five Nights, I think we can move on to what we came here to discuss with Indiana Jones and the dial.
I think we've been done.
Let's freaking get into it.
Yeah. Man, you're full of badass interludes, huh?
Dude, I felt like that one was lame. Like, I haven't come up with anything cool for this one yet.
Dude, it was. Caleb,
Maybe if you
shut
made
up.
it spin a little bit, then it would have added.
I know it's hard because it's like I can only do like, oh, I guess I can add GIFs and stuff. I haven't like fully like explored what I've been able to add on StreamYard yet.
It's already more than I care to try to figure out.
Yeah, I try to do.
We all use it, but you dissected it a lot more clearly.
Dude, he blows me away with what he adds to the show. It's amazing.
It's just more and more work. Like anytime I go to my wife and I'm like, hey, I have this like, because I'll run things past her real quick, and if she's just like, okay, then I'll hit Rose up, and then he'll like kind of confirm or deny whether it's like a good idea. Because if she's just like, that's freaking stupid, like I won't do it. But if she's like kind of acts indifferent about it, then I'll be like, okay, like I think I got something. Yeah. Then I'll go to Rose, and then I'll be like, hey Rose, like, what do you feel about this? And then he'll hit me with like, yeah, that's kind of dumb, or like, yeah, that sounds all right.
I'm glad you have your level of coolness passing it through.
Yeah, so it's just.
I'm just gonna let the record show I never actually just completely come out and say that something is dumb.
That's
I'll try
bullshit.
and say it in a nice way. What?
Okay.
When have I ever said that one of your ideas is straight up dumb?
Came to you one time and I saw this video that kind of got in my head, and they're just like, you know what separates like good creators from great ones is a persona. Like, you know how freaking like this like nobody knows Jimmy, but everybody knows Mr. Beast, and nobody knows like this whatever, but everyone knows Young Gravy. I hit Rose up. I was like, hey, what if we came up with like personas? And he's like, no, like.
At least he knows what he wants.
Yeah, he's just like, that doesn't match our vibe whatsoever. And I'm like, you're right.
Okay, that was kind of a nicer way to let you down. I didn't just say it was dumb.
Yeah.
Dude, you should have. The more I sat on it, I'm like, that was the most idiotic thing I've ever come up with. Oh. All right. So before we get into this breakdown, we did post a question of the week. And we asked, what was your favorite Indiana Jones adventure? And we did get a few responses, all of them on TikTok.
Crystal Skull, of course, right?
Yeah.
Damn
Surprise,
right.
surprise, no one posted that.
Yeah.
Dude, freaking, I think it was on YouTube. Someone took a ranking of like, oh, what's the best Indiana Jones movie? Crystal Skull is ranked higher than Dial of Destiny.
That's bullshit.
Like 8% said Dial of Destiny, 9% said Crystal Skull, and then I think what was it? Raiders of the Lost Ark, Temple of Doom, and then The Last Crusade was like almost evenly split. Raiders was a little ahead, but for the most part, the original trilogy was pretty evenly split. But yeah, freaking Kingdom of the Crystal Skull came above Dial of Destiny, and that's bullshit.
No, that's just not
Yeah.
right.
Agreed.
So we got one vote. Like, I'll just kind of go through these real quick since we only got like 4. From Savino Talk Productions, we got a vote for Raiders of the Lost Ark. From T-Dog Movies and Jason Lampro, we got 2 votes for Temple of Doom. And then from an Ace as Day, we got a vote for The Last Crusade.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you guys, but Last Crusade's my personal favorite.
Temple of Doom for me. Hey.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Dude, I would have sworn, like, I didn't know too many people that, like, I, don't get me wrong, I freaking love Temple of Doom, but that's, like, kind of, like, tied for me with Raiders.
What did you say your favorite was?
Last Crusade.
Oh, really? Yeah, that's probably actually third for me.
Really?
Yeah, if I'm going to be honest.
Oh, man. I don't know how I feel about that, but alright.
I might have to agree with him. Sorry, Caleb.
Oh, man. I didn't realize I was the minority here. I was just like, yeah, everyone loves Last Crusade. But, alright.
No, don't worry. I love the third one. It's great, but like compared to Temple of Doom and Raiders of Dune, wow, Temple of Doom and Raiders of the Lost Ark, I think those two are just better.
Yeah, I think Raiders of the Lost Ark was great because he kind of set the tone, and I feel like by the time Temple of Doom come out, they kind of worked out a lot of the kinks. The action was just a little bit better. The effects were a little bit better. It was kind of shot a little bit better, and I don't know. It was really good. Everything I think was.
I
really
agree.
Good. Yeah.
All right. I thought, like I said, thought I was in the majority, but I guess I don't really talk about Indiana Jones all that much. So that's nice to know. It's usually you, Rose, that's in the minority.
That is true. That is very true.
Yeah.
Oh,
By the third one, they were just recycling material. We're about to talk about this one too, which is literally all recycled material. But I can appreciate a lot of it.
Yeah, fair.
all right. But getting into this breakdown, if you guys are new to our breakdown system, we have split movies into 8 different categories that we individually score to come to a final All Bros and Failing Hollywood letter grade. The 8 categories that we score are story, writing, acting, character development, effects, music, costumes, and then we give it our own personal score at the very end. All of those numbers get magically added up and spit through our algorithm and give us a letter grade to compare this movie to others of a similar grade. It also gives us a percentage that doesn't really matter, but we like using those percentages to piss people off.
Great.
He's not wrong.
Yeah, I think it's anytime you rank something, like someone's bound to get pissy.
Yeah.
So,
Kind of like I'm still bitter of how high the Unicorn Store ranked.
dude, you can freaking fight me over that. Like that, I freaking love that movie.
I will. Dude, I'm sorry. It just goes down every single time I rewatch it. I've only seen it twice, but still.
All right. So yeah, if you have not seen Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, we are about to spoil the entire freaking movie for you, with our favorite segment from Johnny Rose, who is going to read you the entire synopsis for it.
Haven't heard that name in years.
Yeah. So everyone's favorite segment,
Wow.
Reading with Rose, with 2 E's.
All right. In 1944, during the Allied liberation of Europe in World War II, Nazis capture Indiana Jones and Oxford archaeologist is it Basil or Basil?
Basil, probably. That's what my
Basil?
guess would be. Yeah, I don't think it's Basil.
Yeah.
Then why did they have to spell it like Basil? Anyway. Basil Shaw as they attempt to retrieve the Holy Lance of Longinus at Nuremberg Castle. Astrophysicist Jürgen Voller informs his Nazi superiors that his lance is fake, but he has found half of Archimedes? Jürgen, wow. Oh my god, I'm effing this up so bad already.
Well, just to clarify, the lance is a blade that was used to stab Jesus Christ, but it was fake. So I just want to clarify that.
They should have pointed that out.
They kind of did, very briefly though. They glossed over it. That's why it's like big art. That's why everybody wanted it at first, but it's not real.
Okay.
And they kind of forgot about it after that. They're like, it's not real. Let's move on to this new thing that's there.
So he has found half of the Archimedes dial, and I'm gonna fuck this word up. Antikythera mechanism built by the ancient Syracusan mathematician Archimedes.
There you go.
Wow, so many freaking big words.
Yeah, I didn't even try in my notes taking. I was just like, yeah, dude grabs it, gives it to Archimedes.
Grabs the dial.
And
yeah.
An astronomical calculator. It leads users to fissures in time. Jones escapes onto a Nazi train filled with looted
Antiquities.
Oh my god. Antiquities. Wow. God. Sorry.
I'm guessing you didn't write this.
Yeah, this is coming straight from Wikipedia.
Oh.
Okay, fair.
Wow. He frees Basil and obtains the dial half. The two leap from the train just before it is destroyed by Allied forces. In 1969, in New York City, an elderly Jones retires from Hunter College. He and Marion separated after their son Mutt died in the Vietnam War, leaving Jones depressed and withdrawn.
I mean,
Helena Shaw.
was he really depressed though? Shia
mean,
LaBeouf dies or cares that much about it? Right?
Kind of just looked like classic Harrison Ford to me.
Just angry at his neighbors that are being too loud.
the many faces of Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
So Helena Shaw, Jones's goddaughter, unexpectedly visits. Also an archaeologist, she wishes to research the dial, but Jones warns how her late father, Basil, nearly went insane attempting to unlock its secrets. Basil gave Jones the dial to destroy, but he never did. As Jones and Helena retrieve the dial half from the college archives, Waller's henchmen attack them. Waller, now working for NASA under the alias Dr. Schmidt, is assisted by a CIA team. Unknown to Jones, Helena purveys illegal antiquities. She escapes with the dial, exposing her intention to auction it on the black market. Jones flees into a ticker tape parade celebrating the Apollo 11 moon landing, and then an anti-war protest before escaping through the New York City subway system. Jones seeks out...
This is like really... I'm sorry to keep cutting you off. It's really...
No, you're good, man. No, you're good.
This is so complex. You want it like... Because I kind of took notes while I was watching too. Here's my version of it. He escapes in a parade because of a moon or something. They take off and he jumps on a cop horse, and then a Nazi follows him on a motorcycle. The parade ends with a subway chase scene, which is pretty fun. So that's my version of it. It's just very cut and dry. Like they just jump in.
That's way better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no antiquities in my whole review. I'll tell you that.
Oh shit!
Like Wikipedia will freaking like it's really hit and miss with it because sometimes they'll miss like big portions of the movie, and then other times it's like this where it's just like they cover everything.
Yeah, it's like, what's happening? Cover everything. I hope I just wanted to say when I made it to one part, it's like a tuk-tuk car race ensues later on when they're in Morocco. Like, I don't know what the fuck to call that. Tuk-tuk motorcycles just start racing around Morocco.
Oh my god. Oh,
sorry, continue with the antiquities.
Oh my god. Jones seeks out his old friend Sala, now a New York cab driver who helps Jones evade Waller. In Tangler, Jones prevents Helena from auctioning the dial. Waller and his henchmen arrive and steal the artifact. Jones, Helena, and her teen sidekick, Teddy Kumar, ally and frantically chase them through the city streets. The U.S. government, meanwhile, now disavows Waller, who has his own agenda and wants him neutralized. The CIA apprehends Waller, but his cohorts kill the agents and steal their helicopter.
Yes, they did. Tuk-tuk car race ensues.
Jones, Helena, and Teddy trail Waller to Greece and team up with Jones's deep-sea diver friend Ronaldo. They dive to an ancient shipwreck in the Aegean Sea and retrieve a Graphikos tablet containing cryptic directions to the dial's other half. Waller arrives and kills Ronaldo, then chases Jones' group to Archimedes' tomb in Sicily. Inside a labyrinthine cavern, I hope that's right, Jones and Helena locate the tomb and the dial's second half, as well as Archimedes' skeleton, which holds a modern-day wristwatch. Waller captures Jones, wounding him. Reassembling the dial, Waller reveals his plan to time travel back to 1939, assassinate Adolf Hitler, and lead Germany to victory in World War II. Waller activates the dial to open a time fissure and sets a flight path. Jones is captive on the plane while Helena stows away via the plane's landing gear. Teddy follows them through the opening in a stolen plane. Rather than 1939, the time fissure instead leads to the 212
2014 BC.
Yeah. 212 BC siege of Syracuse. Roman warriors shoot projectiles at the approaching plane, believing it is a dragon.
Yes.
Jones and Helena parachute out before it crashes, killing all aboard, including Voller. Meanwhile, Teddy's plane lands safely. Helena observes the unstable fissure and urges they leave immediately. Archimedes inspects the wreckage and finds Voller's wristwatch. He gives Jones the dial, but is fascinated by the watch and keeps it. Jones and Helena learn that Archimedes created the dial solely to bring users from the future to 212 BC. As the fissure begins collapsing, Helena insists on leaving. Jones, who was wounded, wants to remain behind. Fearing he may not survive or could alter history, Helena knocks him unconscious. Jones awakens in his apartment and is reunited with Helena, Teddy, Sala, and also Marion, who helps him recuperate. Jones and Marion later reconcile.
Yeah, using the same, oh, where does it hurt? Here, here. And they kiss, and then the movie ends because they're like, oh, look, it's another throwback.
Yeah.
Movie over.
I will say, like, for the ending that we did get, I did kind of appreciate that throwback. But I
That's
think it let
Fair.
us down. I think it could have ended so much better. Like,
with her being there and them doing that thing, or the whole 212 BC dragon gun or arrow fight?
no, like I was really hoping that they were going to let him like finish off staying there.
Oh, right.
Like I thought that they were.
No way.
I know. Like
Next Indiana Jones, we're doing it in the year 200 BC.
like dude, there's a lot of issues that I had with this. Like like just kind of getting into story wise, because like I think most of my issues had to do with like writing issues.
Mine always goes to the effects. But
yeah, okay, yeah, the effects had some issues too. But yeah, the story overall was like it's fairly good, interesting, kind of like made you understand like why he was the way he was, and I really liked the beginning when he's like the crabby old man, and you see like the difference between, because I was like fresh off of watching the originals, and so it was interesting watching the beginning when he's teaching his class and he's like boring them to sleep, where in Raiders they're like invested. Yeah, they're like.
Yeah, but now he's also, like you said, he's a washed-up old man yelling at his neighbor, pouring whiskey like in his morning coffee before he goes to teach this class. So he's definitely like, it's a day he's retiring. He does not give a fuck. Whereas the ones where you saw before, he very much cared. He was like very much into what he was doing, and he wanted to share the knowledge. Now he's like, fucking kids, just go do your thing, and it doesn't really matter. None of you care about what I'm saying anyway.
Yeah. It was weird to like. I don't know about you guys, but I noticed when he was teaching the class and he was like, "Come on, guys, this is all going to be on like the final exam or whatever." And I'm like, "You're retiring today, though."
Yeah, but it's I didn't think of that.
I'm like, "You're not even going to be here for the final exam."
Yeah. He's like, yeah, well, I'm not going to be here for the final exam, but you guys should study. All right, I'm going out. I'm going to go to the whiskey bar across the street. Bye.
I could just imagine his replacement coming in, and they're saying, "Oh yeah, we're supposed to have a final today." He's like, "Really?" He looks it over. He's like, "Fuck that."
Yeah. We ain't doing this.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of like another like story or just something that threw me off. I don't really consider this like a writing issue because I think as a villain he did pretty good. But what's his face? Dr. Voller? He should have been dead as a freaking doornail.
Right.
He got hit by whatever the hell thing he got with the train so hard.
Yeah.
So he got hit by a metal bar on the thing in the fucking face, and was
that should have
airborne.
Just took his head off.
Yeah, it should have. That's like a removing limb sort of ordeal. Yeah, he flew off and then fell off of a moving train. Well, on top of all that, well, that thing stopped him dead in his track. I guess he wasn't moving past that.
Yeah, dude. Like, I was just like, okay, is this like a ghost or some shit? Like, did he find something to like like? Did he freaking find the Holy Grail? Like, or
Yeah.
like, what the hell happened? And I'm like,
Yeah.
he should be Duhead with capital letters.
No. Yeah. No. But then came back and apparently like is the reason like he helped design the rocket that got America to the moon and was able to disguise himself as not Dr. Voller all the way to get through and help the Americans and recruit the CIA to help him on this mission. Yeah, he's done a lot of work since then too, and
Seriously.
has covered up all the wounds of getting slammed in the face on a moving train.
Yeah.
So I guess that's a throw off. Sure, I'll
Yeah,
take
I
it.
think that was like another.
Maybe he should have just.
There,
I think he should have just fallen off of the train, and then it would have gotten the point across.
Yeah, I could have believed that a lot more.
yeah. I also think they needed to de-age him just a little bit more than they ended up doing.
I think who Voller probably.
I mean, dude, they were already approaching a $300 million budget. They couldn't spend.
I know,
it
but
anymore.
it's just like it felt
spend
like
it all on
it
Harrison
felt like
Ford.
Indiana Jones was fighting someone his own age, but way worse off. And I'm like, okay, you're telling me that Indiana Jones, this person who's like dedicated his life to freaking like archaeology and not like kind of the cool archaeology, like he's like doing some freaking hard labor, and this freaking doofus who's doing math all day is in better shape than Indiana Jones, and they like they look roughly the same age. So I'm like, the only justification for that is that freaking Nazi was younger than Indiana Jones. I'm like, I'm calling bullshit.
I'm actually curious how old Mads Mikkelsen is compared to Harrison Ford, because Harrison Ford's 80.
Yeah, he's ancient.
Mads Mikkelsen is only 57.
Yeah, there's no competing there.
Yeah,
damn, he's 20.
They needed to DH him.
Yeah, so I guess I didn't really realize.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that I like. Going into it, I was just like, yeah, that was great. And then like it was after like my reflection, I'm like, okay, this kind of didn't make sense. This didn't make sense. Most of these issues I'm bringing up are writing issues.
Sure.
Dude, I feel like really dumb right now because when I was reading that Wikipedia thing, I don't know if like maybe like my attention got lost for a minute, but I do not remember Voller like discussing how the reason why he wanted to go back was to replace Adolf Hitler. I missed that somehow.
I didn't miss that. I remember that he wanted to go off to kill off Adolf Hitler before the thing ever happened because he believes that he mentioned a couple of times that he believes that Adolf is the reason that they lost. He's like, the war wasn't won, Adolf was killed, or something like that. Adolf lost. That was what he said. That was the line. So I think he just didn't like the methods of Adolf Hitler, and he thinks it could be done in a better way. So that was it. Was really quick about going to kill Adolf personally to be able to take his place, though.
Dude, I'll tell you that I didn't catch that he was trying to replace Hitler either. I just thought he was going back to kill Hitler. I was just like, that's kind of a weird thing for a Nazi to do. Like, I feel like you could do that without dressing like a Nazi, but all right.
I mean, man, when you commit, you got to commit.
Yeah. Since we're on story, you want me to read my quick review of the thing?
Yeah.
Real fast.
Yes.
Okay. My full review. First of all, I'll just say what I put it for story. I put 80%. If we're already put in there, which I think is fair. All in all, movie wasn't as bad as Crystal Skull, but that's a pretty low bar. I think I was writing it so fast. I put the seating was probably the best. Oh, the de-aging. The de-aging was probably the best I've seen so far in any movie of Indiana Jones personally. I don't think I've ever seen it done better than that. But of course, and the Nazi stuff. You can't have a real indie movie without Nazis. So there we go. We throw in the Nazis. We got that angle. The movie was back-to-back nonstop action, which was pretty good. I wish he used the whip more than he did. He only used it a couple times the entire movie. Why even have a whip? I think the movie was built too much on the back of the prequels, which I'm not a huge fan of that method when you rely so deep on redoing things that you've done in previous movies just to get through successful, but at least they did it. It looked okay. I loved the cave stuff. A lot of those sets looked really practical, which I appreciated, like the falling in the river and all that stuff. I wish the underwater sequence of them diving was a little bit longer and we got a little bit more of Antonio Banderas than we did. But if that's the only complaint, not too bad. I don't know what to think about the ending. The only thing super off about the movie being able to go through a time portal in the sky to the past, adding a lot more plot holes than initially had. They probably could have ended it there, as it was really the only part of the movie that felt Crystal Scully. But I guess every indie movie has a little bit of a light sci-fi aspect to it, although in the good movies, it's very a fine line. So I think they wrote it pretty well.
I think they did too. Like that was a big thing for me too. Was kind of forgive, like Crystal Skull took the magical aspect to Indiana Jones just way too far.
Way too far.
Where this it was a little bit more subtle. Like I kind of understand like the fissures in the sky, time, whatever things in the sky. Like okay, like it helps you like track them down. Like, but I mean, Rose's description said that it opened them. I'm like, did it though? Like I thought it just helped them find them.
Yeah, kind of like a portal in the Bermuda Triangle or something like that, you know.
Yeah, like that's kind of what I thought. But yeah, I think this rode the line a little bit, definitely better than Crystal Skull did. Like this was
100%. Not even comparison.
Yeah, but I mean, it was outlandish enough. Like especially like kind of comparing this to like Temple of Doom. Like you see some dude get his heart ripped out and then burst into flame. Like I think I can believe time portal in the sky.
Right. No.
Fair.
And I didn't hate that part of it, but I did. I liked all the action stuff. I love the Nazi stuff. I like the jumping and going to the room. I love the underwater. Like I said, I wish the underwater stuff was a little bit longer because I kind of really did love that sequence. I think. There's one thing I didn't write about, which was I didn't see the purpose of the kid much. Like I don't buy that they're flying to all these places and they're like, hey, let's give this little kid a ticket to come with us. He's not going to be extra dead weight to carry around. You know, especially when we have Nazis chasing us. I don't buy that.
Yeah, I think that was just Helena's short round, is what it was.
It is. It's Helena's short round.
Yeah, it really was. Yeah.
I mean,
I would have preferred just...
Like, we'll take him from Morocco, bring him to Greece, go from Greece and go to Italy with him. And it's like, no, you would not do this.
No.
Yeah, like, I don't care how useful that kid is.
He wasn't at all.
Yeah, or like...
He's the reason
they should necessarily not necessarily like to the movie, but I mean like to Helena. Like but the only thing that I would have understood like his reasoning if this would have been like a passing of the torch, like kind of situation, like maybe this inspires him to become an archaeologist or some bullshit like that.
Nah.
But like
he's an airplane pilot. Or he wants to, which he can just knows how to fly a plane. Never had touched one before. Using a chair and practicing in the frickin' bar. Yeah, that gives you experience. I can just fly this. This is what it is. Yeah. Oh fucking okay.
Yeah, dude. Like when he freaking hot wired the plane. I'm like planes don't need keys. Like what are you doing? Like, I think that's something that, like, not a lot of people know about airplanes. You don't need a key to make them run. You can just go in and flip some switches and make them go.
Yeah.
Like, as long as they have power and fuel to them, like, you're golden. Like, you don't need to freaking hot wire it.
Yeah. Well, he figured it out. So, yeah, 80% for story.
Yeah. I might be a tad lower. Like I'm not too much. Like I'm sitting around 78. Like I thought it was good, but it's just plot hole after plot hole after plot hole, and like upon reflection. But I mean, pacing wise, it was as good as any movie can get. Like it didn't have too many slow points.
None at all.
Yeah. So what about you, Rose?
I'm going to meet you guys in the middle, so I'm going to go 79.
Nice. Oh, nice.
All right, moving on over to writing. This is where I had all the issues. I felt like the not I can't, were they freaking like legitimate Nazis, or were they just going to like patriots dressing up like Nazis? Like, I don't understand.
They were Nazis. I think they were
Yeah,
Nazis.
I'm pretty sure. they were full-on
Indiana
Nazis.
Jones referred to them as the Nazis more than once in the movie, so
That is true.
Yeah, like, it was so freaking obvious what they were doing with all of them. It was just, they were over the top bad guys.
oh yeah, the giant dude.
Yeah, like
I'm a big guy.
Yeah. God.
like it was.
I'm Klaus.
What blew my mind is like when they're at the college and they're trying to hunt down Helena and Indy. Like, this teacher comes and they're like, they don't freaking flash a badge or nothing. They're just like, wait, no, and then like they freaking like shoot her. I'm like,
Yeah,
dude, like, you don't think this is going to be a problem?
Yeah,
no, of course not.
no one's gonna find her. They're all out at the moon parade.
Yeah, and like,
Yeah.
I mean, another teacher does come and find her. I'm like, you don't think that this is going to be an issue? All that served was to make Indy look like a murderer, so he had to like freaking bounce. But I don't even understand why you had to do that. Like, it felt like like he's like, oh yeah, like Indy's framed for murder. Now he's like on the run and has to clear his name. From what? You could have just freaking flashed the badge and been good.
That's true.
So I hated the over the top, just being a bad guy to be a bad guy. Same thing like that they did with the freaking monster man that they had.
The big guy.
Yeah, like, it was so obvious that they, like, when they threw him in the river, and I'm like, okay, well, like, I knew immediately once he was in the river, and I'm like, this is where big guy dies. So Indy doesn't have to fight him.
Right.
Like, because he.
I will say though, that's got to be one hell of a gruesome way to go out. Just freaking being
that was
stuck
good.
Drowning to death. Oh hell no!
No, I liked that sequence. I liked that one. I liked the falling into the river, being sucked under, and doing that. The little clipping. I mean, I think if the pressure is swigging you that quick, I don't think he'd be able to hold on that long to be able to cuff that dude. But I like the sequence.
Fair enough.
Yeah, but like, super good. Like, really well done. It's just, again, over the top villain that I don't care for.
Yeah.
Like,
everything else is super recycled too. I mean, there's so many lines that were recycled. There's so many sequences that are recycled. There's so many like little escape and gunfights that were almost like you can almost put them side by side to do a lot of stuff, which I thought was a little bit lazy as far as the writing goes. You have 5 writers that were credited with writing this. Come on.
Wow.
You could be so I took my score when I had it and way down because it was like, if you have 5 people in the room and you can't think of something a little bit more original and better to put in, I get it. The movie was made for the fans and it would like you have to have some throwbacks, but there were a lot. When I saw the propellers on the plane, I was like, oh, the big guy's gonna go into the plane and get chopped up, and that's how he's gonna go, or somebody is. And I was like, if they do that, I'm gonna go down even more. It's like, you can't fucking do this again. You're gonna kill people the same way too, but
yeah.
I was waiting for someone to get a spear through their neck, like Alfred Molina. I forget his name. Alfred Molina's character. That would have been a cool way for one of the bad guys to go out.
It almost happened when the plane was getting hit by this fucking spears.
Dude,
that's true.
Some of those spear deaths though were
damn. They should have.
Dope.
Yeah. No.
Like,
yeah.
Also. I want to know what the hell they were thinking. Like, why were they opening? So they knew that they were going to end up somewhere in like Italy, right? Okay, so they had the idea that they're going to end up somewhere in Italy. They were going to fly to Germany and kill Hitler.
Yes.
But for whatever reason, they didn't have the wherewithal to just kind of fly back through the port. Like, they didn't have enough fuel to go back through the portal. Because like that was like an issue. Like, they were yelling we can't go back. Like, it's there. We don't have enough fuel. And I'm like, are you kidding? Like, what?
Oh,
you were going to fly to Germany.
I mean, it could be. I would believe because what is it? The part of Italy was on Germany's side in World War II. So I could believe that they fly through, refuel, get to Germany.
Okay,
I don't know. It's stretch. It's a stretch. Okay.
I could give you that.
It's a good stretch, though.
Yeah.
Okay, that one's forgiven on a technicality.
On a technicality. Italy also has Nazis. Great.
Yeah.
Okay.
I always like whenever I think of World War II, I always forget about Italy. Like
Yeah, Italy.
like I know Germany, I remember Japan,
Mussolini.
and I'm like, I always forget Italy. So okay, I'll give you that one. Like I said, on a technicality.
Sure.
Yeah.
What did you put? What did you put for writing? What did you put for writing?
Ugh, this one freaking hit. I went like a 72.
I was 73.
Damn.
I was 73.
Nice.
I was
Look at
73.
you guys.
Mostly because of just some of the weird dialogue lines. It's more because it was 5 writers. They were lazy with the writers, and some of the lines just like kind of. I wish I wrote more down because some of them were cringy. I didn't write many of the quotes on this one. But yeah, a lot of them were just like, oh, come on.
Yeah.
Fair.
Dude, there was like the only bit of dialogue that like really kind of stood out and had like an emotional impact for me is when after they escaped from the boat and like they'd stolen the boat and like Helena and the kid are like cheering like, oh my gosh, like we got away, blah blah blah, and Indy's just like, my friend's dead.
Oh, right.
I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, like
Yeah.
like that kind of sucks, but
Yeah,
it's like never addressed again after that.
Right.
That's, yeah.
Which,
Yeah, no.
also like real quick,
I kind of expected them to talk about Mud a little more. Sorry, didn't mean to cut you
About
off, kid.
Mud?
No, sorry, Mutt.
Oh.
Like they only addressed him once,
Right.
Like how he died in the war, and that's why him and Marion split and everything. But then it's like never addressed again. And I guess like one and done is fine with it with Shia's character, but I don't know. I maybe would have liked to see like Marion talk about him at the end. That would have been a little nice for her to talk about her son.
It would have stretched it out too much.
Yeah, good point. Good point.
Oh gosh, I had something I wanted to talk about with that, but I completely forgot it. Yeah. Okay. Antonio Banderas. He played a Ronaldo.
Yeah.
But did he call him Benny? Is it like? My question is he supposed to be the guy that flew? No, that was a freaking white dude. Never mind.
No, Antonio Banderas is just the dive expert.
Yeah, okay. For whatever reason, when he like called out to him and he like called him Benny or like whatever the hell he called him, I thought like, oh, is that the guy that freaking flew him in Raiders? Like that flew him around?
No,
Yeah,
I don't think so.
yeah, it wasn't. So dumb thought there.
That'd been kind of cool,
right?
But
Yeah.
Like mild callback.
Antonio Banderas was busy.
Yeah. All right, let's see. What other issues did I have? I think my biggest one, I wish that they would have left him back in the past. Like Indy going out on an adventure, like that's kind of what I was kind of hoping for. Like really bad. Like I wish they would have killed him off on an adventure. But
I like kind of knew when he first said it. I thought in my mind, like I almost predicted it right then. I was like, "There's no fucking way they're gonna leave him in the past. It wouldn't just end like that."
Be one hell of a way to alter history.
yeah, it was just like the way that he was. I don't know. He seemed like so at peace there. He's just like, oh my god, like. I think Rose said it, like he spent his whole life studying this stuff, learning this stuff, and now he gets to like see it. Like that's wild. Like for an archaeologist, like I could just imagine how freaking like mind-blowing that would be. Like especially with how
Yeah, but there's a big possibility your head could end up on a stake.
True.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, like there's definitely a point there, and I think Helena had like good points too. Like you could alter the future in ways that we couldn't even like comprehend or blah blah blah. And I'm like, okay, like I get that too.
It's like when you put it that way.
So it was a weird zone to be in with that because I'm like he needs if he's going to go out because he was shot. Like I thought he was dying. Like I was just like, if he has to go out, he has to go out on an adventure. Like they can't just like say that he's dying, bring him somewhere else to die.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I was wishing for an ending that just wasn't going to happen.
Yeah.
Same here.
Yeah. So what were you giving your writing score, Rose?
So I was at a 74, but I kind of forgot about that and just I kind of wish that would have happened. So that does bring me down a little bit. So I'm gonna actually match Caleb. Wait, what the hell just
72?
happened? Is that really a number?
What? Yeah.
Really?
I was 73.
No, just the final number that it came out to with all of our scores like through.
Oh.
I don't know how to math apparently. I mean Caleb knows that.
Yeah, I mean that math is mathin'. Yeah.
It is mathin'? Okay. Dude, you're looking at a guy that has sucked at math since day one, so.
All right, moving on over to acting. We of course have Harrison Ford, who reprised his role as Indiana Jones. We have Phoebe Waller-Bridge, who played Helena, and
Yeah, the chick from Fleabag, right?
I think so. Yeah. Let's see. Antonio Banderas played Ronaldo. Like, dude, the freaking credits order is weird. Karen Allen reprised her role as Marion for like the ass end. I want to know why she wasn't in it more. Like that was such bullshit.
Apparently, I saw that apparently that like the original script had her throughout the movie, but then they decided to when I think they introduced like the whole like what happened to Mutt and everything. They decided it would make more sense to have her come in at the end and she's the reason why Indy gets that happy ending.
That's bullshit.
But the original plan was to have her in it more. That's why she signed on to reprise her role, because she thought that she was going to be in a lot more than just a cameo at the end.
Otherwise, she would have said no.
She didn't come out and say that, but maybe.
Dude, she got gypped. They could have brought her in a number of different ways. Like that's just lazy. Like they could have had her like, you know what they could have done? They could have had Salah like kind of go behind Indy's back and tell Marion what he was doing, and then she, like obviously she's still hung up on Indy, so she would have freaking chased his ass down, and it could have been like a whole thing from there. Like lazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, speaking of Salah, we have John Rhys Davies, who played Salah. And then we have Mads Mikkelsen, who plays Dr. Voller. Ethan Isidore, who plays Teddy. Any other like significant ones? Let's see. Boyd Holbrook played Kleber, who is like the short Nazi guy.
Mustache
yeah,
guy.
and then Olivier Richards, who played Hawk, who was the big ass German guy.
Yeah. Toby Jones as Basil.
Yeah, Toby Jones as Basil Shaw. So yeah, I think that's all like the big ones.
That's all that's worth mentioning. I thought everybody was really good. I mean, the only complaints I had was I think the kid was trash, but I mean that's what you're gonna get when you get a thing. I didn't buy him at all. I think he was just again a budget short round, which short round was pretty budget to begin with. So I think you're just getting a little bit more. Aside from that, big Hulk dude was not amazing of an actor either, but everybody else was fantastic.
Yeah, everyone did a good job. I think it was tough because like Mads Mikkelsen, he plays villainous so well, and then he was just surrounded by people that were going over the top, and it almost brought his performance down. But he was just so good. Like anytime he was on screen, I'm just like, okay, yeah, and then the other guys would be on him like, you freaking idiots, and it like almost ruined what Mads would do, but I was very pleased with Mikkelsen's performance. I didn't know how I was gonna like Helena, but I actually ended up enjoying her like a lot. Eventually,
she's a great actress.
Yeah,
she's a great actress. Like,
it's
part pulling the role. She's really. I mean, this thing about not liking her character, not liking her performance. Her performance was great.
Yeah, I think at the beginning I had issues, and I don't think it was necessarily with her performance. I think it was just her characterization, because at least once it was revealed that she just sells these illegal antiques, that part of her character really bothered me. I'm just like, really, don't, your father was an archaeologist, you wouldn't have this
Right.
love for it, but it was kind of revealed that she did. And so I like that a lot.
I don't know if it was revealed, because it was, I mean, she showed up to his class and was the only one who knew all the answers. So she definitely had a love for it. But she just had a love for gambling and money and debts to pay back more.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
I think
true.
once they kind of got off of that whole thing, off of the illegal salesman, I started liking her character a bit more, because I loved her at first.
Yeah.
And then it was revealed she was a scumbag, and I'm like, eh. And then it kind of grew that love back. So, but again, nothing to do with her performance, because throughout it all, I think I felt about her how I was supposed to.
Yeah, exactly.
Agreed. Yeah.
And then Harrison Ford, dude, he slipped back into this damn near flawlessly.
I know, for an 80-year-old
Yeah.
man too. And I worked on Call of the Wild, and he is like a brittle old dude. He had to be freaking walked to set and stuff like this. So this was shot way after that.
Right.
I was like, man, he must have some good stunt doubles, because this shit looks good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really did.
I've seen on Instagram some of his stunt doubles that post stuff, behind the scenes stuff, and even his stunt doubles are on the old side. I think
Right.
he maybe had one young stunt double.
Yeah.
Or at least from what I've seen. I don't know if he had multiple young stunt doubles, but I've seen one young, and I've seen 2 or 3 old ones. So
Yeah.
it was good, but I like I said, he slipped back into this role perfectly. And
Yeah, he did.
kind of showed growth of from the character too. I don't know, I liked seeing how he's the boring teacher now, how he's all just everything that he used to be bothers him.
Yeah.
But I loved that he was him, when they were climbing up that wall at the ear
Yeah.
of Dionysus, that he's just talking about what his life is. He's just yeah, where I had this happen or this happen, and been shot 9 times, once by your dad,
Yeah.
but still having that pride that just do you need to take a break? I don't need to take a break. You just go on ahead. I'll catch up.
Yeah.
It feel I think that was what was just perfect about it. It truly felt just an ornery old Indiana Jones, because he was
Yeah.
already a little
Yep.
cranky, but it's just
Yeah.
got upped a little bit more, and I freaking loved it.
Yeah. That's fair.
Yeah. So where are you guys sitting with your acting score, Rose?
I mean, honestly, I literally agree with everything you said. What you had to say about, I already freaking forgot her name. I feel like an
Phoebe
asshole.
Waller?
Yes. I definitely agree with Caleb. Her character was kind of annoying at did you say she was annoying? I can't remember.
When she was first
Or
introduced,
did you not say
no,
that?
it was all surrounded around the illegal selling. That
Sorry, yeah, sorry, that's what I meant. Yeah, so I definitely agree with what you were saying about her, but definitely agree it is not Phoebe Waller's fault. Because she was fantastic. Like you said, Harrison Ford, literally, it's he never even left the role. I actually think his performance in this one is better than his returning Crystal Skull.
Oh, definitely.
I
No
feel
question.
he cared more in this one. But yeah, no, everyone was great except for, definitely got to agree with the knockoff short round.
Yeah.
Was not that greatest. Honestly, I would prefer it if there was just a random freaking what's the word? Wow, I'm drawing a blank. Just cameo from Kehoi Kwan as Short Round.
Oh, I would have loved that.
That would have been so freaking cool. I wish they would
Oh
have
my
done that
gosh,
instead.
dude!
Yeah.
I would have gone freaking nuts.
Yeah.
That would have been really cool. And I think there would have been like no question at all if he would have done it. For how
Yeah.
much he still loves Harrison Ford in this franchise. Yeah.
Oh yeah. The way
Wouldn't
he
have had to
hugged
ask him
him at the
twice.
Academy Awards this year.
Yeah, that was so sweet.
That's how you know he wasn't going to be in it, is because he's like, oh, it was the first time I saw him since the original Indiana Jones stuff. It's like, okay, yep, guess he's not in the sequel.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, he was at the. Pretty sure he was at the premiere.
I believe it.
I think he was, because they show like a clip of him like kind of like sneaking up on Harrison Ford and like going in for a hug, and it was a really sweet moment.
He was talking, or Harrison Ford was talking to some interviewer, and he comes up and he's like, "You call him Dr. Jones," and and then they like had it was kind of cool because like Harrison kind of turned around, they had like a little exchange, and then he was just like, "Oh, like I'll see you after like the whole thing, like we'll catch up and whatnot," and then he turned back to the interviewer, and funny enough, that's where the clip ended because they're like, "Who cares?"
Yeah,
like we just came
We
here
just
to
had
see
the
his
reunion of Indy and Short Round. We're good.
yeah.
but yeah, I would have freaking lost it with a Short Round cameo.
Definitely.
That would have been amazing, especially considering this is the last one that Harrison Ford is ever going to do. Come on, I feel that should have been a no-brainer.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
whatever.
He should really be the new torch passed off guy. I mean, after everything everywhere all at once, he can do the action stuff.
Oh my gosh, dude. I didn't even
seriously.
realize that like who that was until we were doing our breakdown. Yeah,
Oh, really?
like we like I
Did you recognize him from the Goonies or any of that
no,
either?
dude, like
I've never seen.
so
the Goonies,
I've seen the
actually.
so,
You can't do a movie podcast and not see the Goonies, dude. That's
I'm
probably
sorry,
top
man.
3 best movies of all time.
That's what I've heard. And the sad thing is, like, I bought that like years ago on Black Friday on 4K. I'm like, yes, I got the best format of this movie at the time. Definitely, finally gonna watch it.
Bro,
Still
we're
haven't
talking
opened
about
it.
an adventure movie right now. That is the best adventure movie of
Yeah,
all
okay.
time. It's like every kid's dream of doing any of this shit. It's so good.
I really need to
yeah,
sit down and watch it.
my first introduction to him was Goonies because my dad was watching it. I freaking
Yeah, beta.
love Goonies.
That's why I said booty trap.
Yeah. Let's see. And then our Temple of Doom was my next introduction. But yeah, like I had a moment during Everything Everywhere All at Once that I was just kind of like, he seems familiar. Like and I think it was like during our breakdown, I was just like we were talking about him, like Kehoi Kwan and blah 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 blah, like going on, and I was like, bro, you know who he reminds me of? He reminds me of the kid from Indiana Jones. And he's just like, Rose didn't know it either, and he's just like, yeah, he kind of does. And then I'm like, what else has he been in? And I scrolled down, saw Indiana Jones. I'm like, ah!
That answers
You
that.
see that poster right behind me?
Oh, dude.
Oh, that's all.
Yeah, we got him in the studio.
That's awesome.
No, yeah, I mean, he's got the same accent and everything. But if they would have passed the torch off to, I mean, they still kind of could if they kept doing the movies. I would definitely love
Fair
that.
enough.
Yeah.
He's Academy Award winning now. I think it adds to the thing. So
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I freaking would have lost it with that. But
definitely.
yeah. So where are you sitting with your score, Rose?
Score wise, I think I'm gonna be at like an 87.
That's
90.
90.
Yeah. It was good. The only reason it's I would have given it higher, but the kid killed it for me. I did not like the kid in this one. I
That's
thought
what knocked me down.
it knocked me
It would've
down.
been in
I didn't think
90s.
he deserved to be in a lot of stuff. I thought immediately you're like, this is a knockoff short round. I didn't buy a lot of the stuff he was going for. I don't know why they're bringing him on the Barren Sea for them to go on a diving expedition. It's like, what the fuck is this kid gonna do? Nothing.
Yeah, he was just
But the off chance that maybe there's a plane and maybe he might be able to hotwire it and maybe he can fly it.
yeah, like the only purpose that he served with that whole thing was to be the freaking bait.
That's it.
That's true.
Like that was all he did. But yeah, I agree with you. He brought it down for me a little bit more. Like I'm sitting at like an 88.
Yeah.
All right, next up we got character development, which obviously we're going to do this based off of Indy, and I didn't hate his arc in this. It was like you still get like it's just grouchy old Indy, but I think his heart kind of softens up a little bit by the end, and like you can see just how like it kind of seems like in the beginning like he has that vibe like when he's teaching the class like he just doesn't give a shit anymore, and
yeah.
He's just kind of over it because he's gone through all this like loss of his son, he's divorcing and all this, which oh my gosh, freaking I don't know why this is the moment that like it brought it up. So I went to go see this in theater with like an old freaking Southern book club that was in there, and they were narrating the entire movie. Yeah, it
What?
was so like. No shit. Okay, so when they're in the wherever the hell they were at the table, and Indy starts like whipping everything like around, he's like, "Get back, get back, get back!" And then everyone like pulls the guns out. Like,
yeah, which happened in the original thing. Another throwback to
and he's so like all that happens. He like throws the whip. They all pull their guns, and then in the back, I just like hear this old lady cackle and just like, "That's why you don't bring a whip to a gunfight." And I'm like, shut up!
Oh, Jesus.
What the fuck?
And then, dude, it was like consistent throughout the entire movie. Like, so, at the tunnel, like, is the freaking like the bird with the wings, or how they're like, oh, you see how this like Phoenix has like propellers, or it looks like it has propellers, and she's like, it's probably an airplane, and I'm like, no shit, lady, shut up. And then then at the end when Marion's doing the whole like, oh, it hurts here, and
yeah,
she's just like. Yeah, like she like leaned over to her. It was like seriously 10 or 11 just like old Southern ladies, and they're just like, you remember when he did that to her at the first one? I'm like, dude, I will freaking flip a table, lady. Shut the hell up.
Oh my god.
I was fuming.
Yeah. I've had that a couple times. I had that once when last movie I went to. I forget what movie it was with my wife. It was like that, but the kid guy. It was like a guy next to me that was with his girlfriend, and he was like, "Oh!" And there was like a point where like there was a funny moment. He laughed, and he even like goes and like did like the shoulder thing. I was like, "Dude, if you fucking touch me, like, I'm not your buddy."
Oh my gosh, dude! I knew I was in for it at the during the trailers, because after every single trailer, oh, that looks good, we should go see that. Oh, that one looks really good, we should go see that.
Oh boy!
Like, and then she'd like lean over. Oh, you see that one? We're gonna go see that, ladies. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, I feel bad for all those movies and the people.
Yeah, and then it was like. At the end, like after like everything like had finished, she was walking down and she's just like, "Oh, look at that!" Like looking at me and saying like, "Oh, look at that, a youngin' keeping the traditions alive," and then walked off. I'm like, I cannot even like explain how upset I am. Like I'm about to blow my freaking top, lady.
Yeah, nah.
Anyway. Like I said, don't know why I just suddenly thought of that because it really pissed me off. But I just had to get that out there, share that experience.
I find that really funny, considering like going to see this movie was one of the best movie experiences I've had in a very long time. Because there's always like the past like 4 to 6 months, like one person that's always ruined a movie for me. They just won't shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
No one said a fucking word during this movie, and it made me so happy. One of the best movie experiences I've ever had.
There was only.
I saw that I saw it Thursday night.
Yeah.
Like I was amazed.
Yeah, I saw the matinee yesterday. Nobody was at the theater. There's one other couple in the theater.
That makes me sad.
Dude, that is like the biggest perk of working weekends is no one's at the movie theater like Monday through Thursday.
Yeah.
Like especially if I go early. Like
yeah.
Thursdays can, I feel, be a little different nowadays because that's usually when movies now release. Considering that most of the showtimes, even though it doesn't say it opens till Friday, Thursday they start them as early as like 3:00.
Yeah. Well,
it sucks
that's
that like
one
the
I hit for this movie was the Thursday at 3.
You did that. I think that's funny that like you saw it at 3, I saw it at 4, and we both had different experiences.
Yeah, I mean the theater overall was empty, but I came in and I sat down, and then it was like this club of old ladies came. Like freaking. Anyway,
just pull it like, oh shit,
yeah.
Here we go again.
But like usually it's pretty empty. But yeah, getting back into character development.
Yeah. I don't really think there was much, to be honest. Like if you want to say, oh, he developed back into the Indiana Jones we all knew, that's what we happened. Like he digressed and maybe went back to what he's always been, which he has done in previous these movies before too. He's up and down a little bit with it, but I don't think there was a hell of a lot. Like there was nothing really new for Indy. We ended on a scene with her doing the exact same fucking thing that they did in a previous movie. I think that with the most development through anybody was Phoebe Waller's character. She went from a criminal to an archaeologist, I guess, and Tina to get the past behind her. So I think if we're talking about anybody who developed, it definitely would be her.
Yeah, which kind of led up, at least me to believe that we were going to pass the torch on to her. And
right.
When that didn't end up happening, it was like kind of a little like, okay, what the hell was all this growth for then?
Yeah, I'm okay with her not having the torch for future movies though.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I thought she brought like a really good charisma to her character that I think kind of fits with the Indiana Jones character. So I would have liked it, but I understand why they didn't, just because of how iconic of a character Indiana Jones is. Like
I think it's that, and also they don't want to pull a whole, oh hey, how the hell did we get to a $300 million budget?
True.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't know if we'll at least theater wise, see another indie adventure without Harrison Ford, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like maybe a Disney Plus something. Yeah. Maybe something on Disney Plus.
Disney Plus might do a TV show like they're doing a National Treasure or some shit, and then that's about it.
Didn't that get canceled?
Probably. Nobody watches that. Watch a bunch of little kids look for national treasures. Or I don't know. I didn't watch it, so I can't tell you what it's about.
Yeah.
All I know is Nick Cage is not in it.
Yep. So, yeah. With Indy, he has that regression to cranky old man, and it just kind of it's not like a super steep arc, but it's just kind of kicks him back into shape, gets him back to where he was, back into the character that we know and love. So, I mean, it wasn't super deep, but I think it was a fairly average arc overall.
I did 69.
69.
In case you guys wanted to know, it was canceled after one season.
Okay, there we go. Yeah.
Yeah, I might be solid 70, if I'm being real nice. Because my average score is usually 75, but I don't think it's deserving of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to match Caleb on that one.
Yeah, I was gonna go C, but I was like, I don't think it even belongs. I think it's one below a C. Like, I think you just missed the
Yeah.
mark. That's
And
it.
this, like, honestly, like, this is maybe around where I would put other Indiana Jones movies.
Right.
Not all of them. I think some have better than others, but this is kind of like ballpark because I don't go to freaking Indiana Jones movies to see him develop as a character. I go to see a super cool adventure.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, moving on over to the big one, effects.
I think we're going to be separated here because I think I'm looking at this as a whole different giant than you guys are. So I feel like we're going to be far apart from this one.
I
will admit, the more I've sat on them, they're not as bad as I initially thought. Like, they're not absolutely god awful.
So the only effects I had big problems with were the de-aging
I love
maybe not it's the de-aging in action. When it was like when he was like stopped, or like when he was in the chair being hung, like all that stuff was really good. It was just like when he was kind of stationary, but when he was moving around, it looked odd. And like
I don't think it looked as odd as like it was with like the Irishman looked bad. Like it was like atrocious bad with the de-aging there. Him, I actually I thought it was good. I thought it was used in the right. Like I think they started to master the lighting with it a little bit in certain angles. Like when they're on the train fighting, it's hard to tell anything's bad. You know what I mean? And then maybe when you're super close up and he's moving around, you can notice it. Like there was a few parts where I noticed it, but other than that, I was like, I don't think anybody else has done it better than this so far.
No.
So I think we're coming a ways. Yeah. Is it perfected? Definitely not. But I think we're getting closer.
Yeah. I don't know if you're familiar with the Corridor channel on YouTube.
No.
So they're filmmakers out of California, and they attempt to do film challenges. So one of the big film challenges that they had was a proper de-aging of Luke Skywalker from Mandalorian, and what they feel like they did a whole analysis of that scene, and they're like they tried to digitally recreate Luke. But we could do it better with deep fake technology, and they did, and it looked incredible. Like so much so that so much so that Disney actually incorporated deep fake technology in the next season of I think they used it the next time you see young Luke, and it looked like
the one that we haven't seen yet.
No,
or?
So did you watch Book of Boba Fett?
Yeah.
Actually, what scene was it in? It wasn't Book of Boba Fett. Was it Book of Boba Fett? Yeah. It was that one. It was basically Mandalorian season 3, that intro one. So it was that they started using deep fake, and that's why it looked pretty freaking good. The only issue with deep fake is getting strong emotion, because with deep fake you can only get whatever it's trained to do, and so they were only able to gather so much information from Mark Hamill's young face. So I think that's something that they incorporated here. It's because like I said, stationary and kind of not a super expressive face on Indiana Jones looked fantastic. It was when he kind of got a little bit more wide eye and oh shit, his oh shit face looked a little odd. And I'll agree with you too, only when it was super well lit up. But in the dark, it looked freaking awesome. That felt straight up the openings.
And all around. So aside from that is your action sequences, the train stuff looked really fucking cool. You can't take away from that, man. The cave stuff was so fucking awesome. They go into the cave, the practical river. They had to have fucking built that. It looks so good and so fucking real. They fall off the bridge and get swept away into it. They climb the fucking wall. All that stuff looked really good. And then the giant ancient battle scene at the very end with those giant arrows flying through the plane. Man, I thought that stuff was pretty fucking dope. Like those big sequences were really, really good.
Yeah, like that shit looked so good. Like it shows that maybe they blew their budget there.
They definitely did. I mean, well, and it was action and explosions and big like gun effects and stuff like that. It was just nonstop. It was from front to back of the movie. There was not a dull moment. They were running from something the entire time. The water scene, going underwater, that shit looked really good and real. I wish they extended that a little bit.
Yeah.
Seems like the minute they get down into that pirate ship, I was like, oh, this is fucking dope. Like all these like dead skeleton bodies in like that cool fucking box they're like ripping out. Like that stuff, I wish they made that a little bit longer before the Nazis came, get them a little bit more time to explore this, like, or made like a different chamber inside of the ship or something like that. I would have loved that. I thought that all looked awesome though, and it was exciting and it was believable.
Yeah, it looked really freaking good.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of like if there was anything else. Like nothing else looked too like even the portal. The portal looked really
The portal looked
really cool.
I'm glad they didn't make it like a freaking like Tron ring in the sky or something like that. You know what I mean? Or like from Portal.
Yeah, it just
like I'm glad it was just like some clouds that was just splitting light. You know?
Yeah, it kind of like really looked like just a tear in space, which was I think that was like an excellent decision to be made. Like I think they could have gone another thing that they could have gone real cheesy with. Trying to think action wise, like all of the stunt work looked awesome, like looked really good.
Yeah.
I think there was maybe like one moment where I could almost tell that it wasn't quite Harrison Ford, and I think it was when he was jumping from one like little go-kart to the other. I was just like,
oh yeah,
he like something about like it's like he got bulkier for a second. I'm like, that doesn't look like you. and that was just being like real nitpicky during those scenes. Just like, all right, let's see what I can find. But I think that's like one of those like blink and you miss it transitions.
Yeah,
fair.
That's fair.
Now I'm gonna notice that when they put this on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Thanks, Caleb.
Like I could be wrong for all I know. Like they could have just had Harrison Ford seriously just like green screen jump from one thing to another, but it looked too real for it to not or to be like animated.
Yeah.
So
fair.
I mean, I'm not harshing on this movie too much. Like this is.
No, I mean, I can respect, like, de-aging technology isn't perfected yet, so I can even respect, like, not still loving it and being pulled out of that there, too. I just think it's the best that's been done so far that I've seen. Still not perfected.
Yeah.
Willing to say that.
That is fair.
I mean, honestly, like, I think I would put this on the same level as, like, it's hard to say, like, a high-budget Marvel movie, but... just because all of their movies are super high budget, it's like it's like it's like a Marvel movie that was given like a decent amount of time.
Yeah, I mean, I put 95%.
95.
Yeah, I went high.
Yeah, I'm not.
My question. Okay, so like if we're like thinking of de-aging here, was this as good as the de-aging for Michael Douglas in Avengers Endgame? Or do you feel it was on the lines of Robert Downey Jr. younger in Civil War?
I didn't see Civil War, so I can't attest to that.
Okay. Did you see Endgame?
I saw Endgame, yeah.
Did you think that the de-aging on Michael Douglas was pretty good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thought it was decent.
I
What do you
put
think,
it
Caleb?
along those lines. Yeah.
Michael Douglas?
Around Michael Douglas.
Yeah, as would I. I can't think of it like any other actors that their like de-aging was like top notch. I don't know. I feel like Michael Douglas was like so close to like being perfect.
The only one I
It looks that
can
good.
think of that looked like really, really solid was Samuel L. Jackson's in Captain Marvel.
Forgot about that.
Man, they de-age a lot in this shit in Marvel,
Yeah,
huh?
they de-aged
I don't watch much Marvel.
Yeah, they've de-aged a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's the technology's getting better for sure. So I'm not quite in the as high as you though. I'm sitting somewhere in like 87 range though. So
I think like I'm barely missing the 90s, so I'm going to go like an 89 because like honestly the more that I think about the effects with Indy and the de-aging, like honestly it for the time that we're in, it is actually really good. And this is going to be a hot take. I think it actually looked better than Luke Skywalker did.
I think
Fair.
it did too.
Totally fair.
Luke Skywalker had a glow on him, and I didn't. That's the thing about de-age. Like when they have like that weird video game glow, it kind of pulls you out.
Yeah,
and he was almost there.
Took me out.
Yeah, but I didn't see that a lot with him.
Yeah, I think it's the same like instance with like the Jurassic Park effects. The reasons those hold up so well is because they hid most of the jankiness behind smoke, rain, and dark.
Right. That's true. That's true. Yeah.
They're just like even like that channel I was telling you about. Like they even explain like the whole thing. Like it's super easy to hide your mistakes behind rain. Like if you want to make a really cool effect, put it in rain. Like it'll make it like look 15% more realistic if you do it that route.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, we got music.
I mean, John Williams.
Yeah.
There's nothing new.
It doesn't get better than this.
There's nothing new. So I mean, he composed it, and you obviously have his orchestra doing on behind. There's nothing like new marvels that are added to it. They still recycled a lot of like the old stuff, but I mean, when you have the best of the best behind you can't. The only reason I didn't give it a 10 out of 10 is because it's recycled stuff. But then John Williams is fantastic. 9 out of 10.
Yeah, I was maybe leaning a bit more like maybe 8, but I mean, like for the majority of the movie, I was sitting around an 8, and then that score hit, and I'm like, God damn it! Like it's a damn good score.
Yeah, man. The best concert I've ever been to this day is a John Williams concert. Holy shit.
Oh, that's
like
awesome.
There's nothing that captures like your soul the way John Williams seeing that orchestra play can do.
What are you thinking, Rose?
I'm honestly the same with wait, Caleb, you said a 9, right? Yeah, I'm the same.
Yeah, I think if I was anywhere, because like with this where it's like solid number, but if we did halves, I would probably be around like an 8.5.
I think I'd still be at a 9. I'm sorry to say, the Indiana Jones theme, to me, just because I didn't really grow up with Star Wars, so when it comes to John Williams' score, the Indy theme is more iconic to me than the Star Wars theme.
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So,
All right, next up we got costumes. Other than, like, obviously Indy looked great.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I appreciated that they did, like, for part of it, he had the tie on, and then as the movie went on, he went back to, like, the classic, open collar. I love that throwback to The Last Crusade. That was really good.
So I was gonna say with this because I kind of made like a subcategory with props, and you said, "Oh, we usually kind of bundle that into costumes." So I have 2 different rates for that because if we did costumes, the period clothing was fun, but there was nothing really too super special or that brand new that got thrown in. Like there's no far out designs. Like everything was kind of put in. Nothing was custom made. But if we're adding props into this, so costumes I put like 7 out of 10, but props I would have put 9 out of 10 because you got those 2 fucking pieces that put together with the pin in the top that they start actually becoming a practical functional pop. That has to be custom made, and it needs to function, and it needs to clip together, and it needs to do the little whirl click thing. That thing was so fucking cool. Not to mention the giant box that they get underwater that they pry open. That's a custom box there. And you have this cool like wood wax pad that has an inscription on it. But then you melt it to this cool golden dial that's like your pathway to being able to find the damn cave. Like that shit was all practical, which is so fantastic for like the actor. And I mean, that's why I do this job. It makes me geek really hard.
Dude, we freaking.
So I don't know how if we're adding that. If we're adding that to what?
Oh, I was just saying, like I freaking loved the that dial. Like that dial looked sick. Like it was one of the cooler props from like Indiana Jones history. If like I freaking loved how that looked.
Yeah, it wasn't just like a golden monkey on a pedestal or something.
Yeah.
Like
know what I mean? Even the Jesus like dagger thing looked pretty cool. You know what I mean? A lot of that stuff it looked really good. So I was like, man, a lot of this stuff it just made me geek out a lot props wise. And I was like, oh, we got to kind of lump this into some category, right?
Yeah. And we like it's honestly dependent on the prop, but we'll throw that into like effects. It just kind of fits wherever it fits.
Yeah, it would fit there, I guess, in this since we already gave it a high rating.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't. So where you sit, like if like you say, costumes itself would be 7, but with props it'd be at 9.
Well, it was 9 with props. So if we plump that in, I would split the difference 8.
8. That's honestly about where I was at too. Like,
Sam.
Yeah, it's just the Indiana Jones outfit is the only like real like, oh, that's the iconic thing. Everyone else, it's just like they had time appropriate clothing. I mean, you had the Nazi uniforms, but
and then the 2012 BC warriors. I guess they had some like cool helmets and stuff like that. For the battle scenes, they looked good.
They
did.
I will say this though about those, it did almost feel a little cosplay-ish, like at times when they'd like
a little
kind of
bit
go quick over, but it was still like really, really good. So yeah. I think 8's appropriate for this. All right, last up we got our own personal scores. Who wants to take this one first?
I'll let you guys decide.
Man, I go through. I kind of rated it. Where did you say is your middle ground usually?
Like completely like middle. Like my average, like just average among average is 75.
75. I'll give it a 79. 79.
Yeah, that honestly, that's that's about where I'm at too. Like I'm sitting at a solid 79 as well. Like I had a good time with this movie, a lot better time than I had than Crystal Skull.
Yes, I would watch it again. I would not watch Crystal Skull.
I would absolutely watch this again. It was so good. It was super fun. Like if I ever am in an Indiana Jones mood, which I get in every year or so, like I'm probably gonna watch the original 3, and then I'm gonna throw this one in there.
Yeah.
Like I've had a couple since like Indiana Jones moments. Never threw in Crystal Skull in that mix. I was like, it's like a movie I'm choosing to ignore. I'm adding Dial of Destiny to the mix.
Nice, I agree.
So yeah, I'm right with you, sitting at a 79.
For me, I really enjoyed this one, so it cracked a B- for me. So I'm gonna go an 80.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, that's definitely fair.
Caleb, I'm gonna apologize right now. I did change some of my. Did
you really?
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. I talked myself up. I'm sorry.
All right. Well, going through these scores real quick, starting off with story, it ended up getting it averaged out to a 79. Our writing took a bit of a dive, sitting at a 73. Acting brought it up a decent chunk, sitting at an 89. Character development is sitting at a 69.6. Our effects ended up averaging to a 90.3. Music is sitting at a 9. Costume sitting at an 8. And then our personal score averaged to a 79.3. So with that, the final All Bros and Failing Hollywood letter grade for Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny has come out to a B-.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dude, I seriously gotta get like a little drummer set.
Yeah.
I really gotta get that. I gotta invest in that.
Just a mini
We've been doing this
snare
for too long. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So our cutoff for a B- is 80%, right? This ended up scoring an 81.9%.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
Wow.
It's not bad.
Yeah, definitely not bad. I'm kind of glad it didn't dip into the C+. Like I think B- is fairly appropriate.
Yeah.
Agreed. Yeah.
So where does that put it? What's in front and behind?
Oh God.
Real question.
This is the place where we seem to lose people.
I know. This is the one where I'm always the most curious about. I was like, what?
All right.
Where I got to resubmit scores.
Okay, let's see. You want to hear what it's below or what it's above first?
What is it above? What's it
All
above?
right. So,
Raise me up.
Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, sitting at an 81.91%, is above Being the Ricardos, which is at an 81.87.
I don't think I've seen that. I don't think.
All right, it's above The Bad Guys, which is at an 81.81.
True.
It is
True.
above Holiday in Handcuffs, which is at an 81.78.
I don't even know what that is.
It's a Melissa Joan Hart movie. I broke it down with Almy.
That's why. You broke it down all the... Of course you did.
Isn't that his favorite movie?
I think it's his favorite holiday movie. His favorite movie is Big Trouble in Little China.
Right.
All right, he's got good taste.
All right. All right. It is above the Birds of Prey.
Agreed.
I would agree with
All right.
that.
It's above The Matrix Reloaded.
I agree.
Yep, definitely agree with that.
Let's see. Is there any other like? Okay, it is I'm going a little bit more just to see if there's others that I feel like you would have seen. It's above Deadpool 2.
Ooh, that's a tough one. They're pretty close. They're pretty close.
Yeah, I don't even think I'm a full percentage difference away from it yet.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, Deadpool 2 is the difference is less than 1%. So it's super close. It's just these rankings are like 1,000th of a percentage away from each other.
Yeah.
Which is funny why it pisses people off.
What's it below? What's
All
it
right.
below?
Going the opposite direction, it is below Rogue One or Star Wars Rogue One.
Yeah, I agree.
Which is at an 81.9. So this one, it's not even so Indiana Jones is 81.91. Rogue One is at an 81.93. So it's a 0.02% difference. All right, let's see. It is below.
And my personal score is a lot higher than that.
All right, it's below It Chapter 2.
Yeah.
Let's see. It's below Over the Top.
I don't know.
Sylvester Stallone. Arm wrestling.
Nope.
Oh,
nope. Definitely don't know what that is.
I broke that down with Ben.
Oh fuck. Makes sense.
Let's see. It is below Thor: Love and Thunder.
Yeah.
I would.
Yeah.
You said it's below that. I gotta disagree with that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I honestly, the more that I think of that movie, the only part that I like is like the one scene with the Guardians. Other than that, I really don't like the movie.
Oh wait, no, I'm thinking of Ragnarok. Nope, I don't agree with that either.
All right, it is below The Magnificent Seven.
Okay, that is a good remake.
It's been a minute.
All right, it's below Knock at the Cabin.
I did like that movie.
All right, let's see. Ron's Gone Wrong.
That movie was fantastic.
That was a good.
I agree with that. That absolutely.
And it's also below Smile.
Oh,
I can definitely agree with that.
the new horror
one.
movie. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. I didn't think it was awful, but I didn't think it was amazing either. It ended too. I don't like the ending. I didn't like the ending at all.
Okay, I can see that.
All right, and then it is below Let's Be Cops.
Fair.
What was I gotta look that one up. What's Let's Be Cops? Oh, that's what Michael what's his face? Or no, am I thinking of a different cop movie?
It's with Jake Johnson
It's
and
one of the Wayne's brothers.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the Wayne's brothers' sons.
yeah, whichever one.
Oh yeah, haven't seen this one. Have not seen. It's that good? It only has a 6 out of 10 on IMDb.
Dude, that's
Damn.
hard. That's why I think Let's Be Cops is one of the reasons.
Give it like a 7 out of 10.
made the podcast because we're like, that's bullshit. Let's Be Cops was really good. But But yeah, so all
okay,
these movies are B- movies.
Not horrible. Not horrible range.
Yeah,
There.
like some other ones that it's above. I think that Indiana Jones is above that. I think you might have seen. Dune. It's above Dune. It's above the original Top Gun.
Oh, I don't know if I agree with that one.
It's above the 1993 Super Mario Bros.
Well, obviously. Thought we were reading from the B section.
Yeah. Well, this is just B-. Like we have a, let's see, out of our B, so we have 33 B- movies. And
you put the Mario Bros with John Leguizamo in B-?
Yeah. It barely got a B- though. Like I said, our cutoff is 80%.
In our
this
defense,
is an 80.08.
In our defense, DJ really does love
very
that
true.
movie, so his scores definitely brought it up a lot.
I mean, yeah, he's the Italian guy, right?
Thankfully, the new one scored far better.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is all the movies that we have, or that it's above and below.
Acceptable.
Cool. All right. Well, with that, I think that concludes this week's episode. So thank you, Mykie, for joining us on this episode. It was an absolute blast.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
Always
thank
fun.
you.
Anytime.
Yeah. Like we'll have to get you on for some others. Like any other movies that you want to do. Like we usually do the new ones, so whatever comes out that you want to do, we're all types of down.
When Meg 2 comes out, I fucking love Meg.
The Meg?
When Meg 2 comes,
Yes,
I love the Meg movie. Yeah, with Jason Statham. Like I fucking cheesed hard during that movie. I loved it more than anybody.
Megan.
I was like,
Sorry.
this movie's fucking rocks. So yeah, when Meg 2, the what is it called, the Trench or something like that, when that comes out, I'll definitely jump on. There'll be some more.
Shit. Yeah, you're gonna make me watch those movies.
Oh, if you haven't seen the first Meg, and I mean, if you haven't rated Goonies yet, definitely that one.
Yeah, we gotta do Goonies.
Yeah, Goonies is one of the greatest movies of all time. So I'd be happy to do that. That's gonna be high A though.
Fair enough. I
Yeah.
like off the top of my head, like I don't see any reason why it wouldn't.
Yeah.
But I mean, hell yeah. So, would you like to tell everyone where they can find you and all that you do?
Yeah, I'm at Failing Hollywood on Instagram, Failing Hollywood on anywhere. You can find Failing Hollywood streaming. Everywhere you can find the All Bros, you can also find Failing Hollywood. It's for listening. We're on the Inner Circle Podcast Network, so go over there to innercirclepn.com. You'll find us and all of our friends over there. So, yeah, that's it.
All right. Well, if you like this episode, want to check out more of our stuff, be sure to follow and subscribe to us wherever you listen to podcasts. We are, like you said, anywhere. Been having a hard time finding places we're not. So, yeah. We're also on all social media at the All Bros: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. I feel like there's another one. I think we're on LinkedIn. But yeah, so you can find us anywhere on there. If you want to answer our question of the weeks that we post, want to join us for an episode, have an episode idea, we would love to have anyone on. So yeah, you can also check out our website, tinyurl.com/theallbros, where you can find links to everything that we do. Next week, you guys can look forward to us breaking down a movie that I am having a real hard time wanting to watch, Evil Dead Rise.
It's on my list, too.
Oh, shit.
Like I said at the beginning, I barely made it through the first season of American Horror Stories. I have no freaking clue how I'm going to make it through Evil Dead Rise.
When we were in high school, you have no idea how much convincing it took to get Caleb to even watch one Paranormal Activity movie. And it was number 4, arguably the least scary
Probably,
of all of them. And it took so much convincing. It was insane.
That sounds right.
This is probably a movie that I'm going to watch on my phone in my office with the lights on, volume down to practically 0 with subtitles.
That's not how to watch
Pussy.
it.
That's how I'm going to have to watch it because, I barely made it through the
Fair
trailer.
Come on, Caleb.
I barely
Come on.
made it through the trailer.
You're killing me, man.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
well, it's up in the air whether or not I make it to next week's episode. So
Are you sure you don't want to watch it VR,
absolutely
big screen?
the hell not. That's the last thing I need, to be
Oh.
caught off guard with someone coming and touching me during that movie. Like, absolutely the hell
Oh my-
not.
Oh my god, dude.
Dude, that's
that'd
how
be
a
amazing.
3-year-old gets, like, popped in the head.
Yeah, please don't pop my niece in the face, please. I'd really appreciate that.
Yeah. So yeah, thank you again, Mikey, for joining us. And you guys can look forward to that next week. But until then, this has been the All Bros Podcast. I'm Caleb.
And I'm John.
And we will catch you guys next week. Deuces.
So long.